You know, we're gonna pop in on Mondays. Y'all know we go hour. So, as y'all read, or if y'all didn't read yet, today's topic is: do you truly want solutions, or do you want to be validated in your relationships? Now, keep in mind, we're talking about personal relationships. So, obviously, we can't incorporate what goes on in tolerating others that we aren't connected to, and general solutions and general validation. We're just talking about personal relationships. So when you hear solution in regards to personal relationships, what do y'all think of? Just to get everybody started. We don't want to give our answers to everybody, had a chance to answer.
I mean, for me, when I hear solutions, I think it means like, there's an issue, there's a problem, you know what I'm saying? So do I really want to just be validated and have my opinion, and only my opinion matters, or do we want to have a solution that come to a common ground for a common understanding so both of us can move forward, towards our relationship?
Okay, that's a good start. It's definitely a good start. What about you, Drastic? Jazz, Jessica, Reed? What do y'all think? Oh, Drastic, we can't hear you.
I don't, is he talking?
Oh, yeah. He's talking, unless he's rapping. When you hear solution, Drastic, we can't hear you. Yeah, we can't hear you, Drastic. And Jazz missed the question, so we're going to repeat the question while Drastic gets his stuff in order. The question is, when you hear solution in a relationship, what do you think of? The rail tapped out. So today is some difficulty. Jessica, you can chime in. Reese, you can chime in. We'll incorporate your answers into the discussion. I guess Drastic froze. So, I guess we gave people time to answer the question. But I guess what we're going at until Drastic gets his stuff in order, he can join. But where we're going with this is when Jessica, a solution in a relationship is a plan that both people agree on and are on the same page about. Okay, yeah. That's a part of what's going on. Let's give a little second for everybody else to, I know typing can take time. But all right, so one thing we want to be clear about: when you are searching for validation in a relationship, it means that you're looking at what the relationship could do for you, how it could benefit you. When you're dealing in solution, you're looking at how the relationship can benefit every person within the relationship. So when you're looking for solution, everybody puts an input, you weigh out the input, and you find common ground where everybody can coexist and everybody can flourish within the relationship. So I would say a healthy relationship, you're always looking for a solution. You're always looking for solutions to your problems. You're always looking for solutions and outcomes that are going to benefit the whole. And when you're looking for validation, you're just looking for how you are going to be lifted within the relationship, or are you going to benefit from the relationship. So you believe that people are there to actually give you self-worth as opposed to y'all working as a team to build self-worth as a unit. So what do y'all think about that?
So the way I take that, basically what you're saying is validation is more of an I thing. Solution is more of a we thing.
Definitely.
Yeah. And validation deals with self-worth and self-esteem. So if you are in a relationship and you're looking to be patted on the back every 5 seconds, or every idea or everything that you come up with has to be celebrated, then that's a sign that that you are probably not in the healthiest place within yourself. And a lot of people that don't have or are struggling with self-worth, they usually are looking for other people to confirm or deny who they really are and how they should really feel about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Now
we can hear you.
Okay, my bad. I kind of missed a lot of what you were saying because I was still getting situated. But just off of the definition that I just heard Jerry say, I definitely agree with her. You know what I'm saying? Because you definitely don't want to be out of balance wanting validation, especially from any and everybody. But I think that within balance, you know what I'm saying, as long as it's not excessive, you kind of want validation from your partner. You know what I mean? Like not like every 5 seconds, not every idea, not, you know what I'm saying, not every circumstance. But you do want, you know what I'm saying, you do kind of look to give and receive validation from your partner, though, don't you?
I think when we think of validation, you're thinking of it being inspired by your partner.
Yeah.
You know, being influenced by your partner. But validation is a whole different degree. You get what I'm saying? Because validation comes within believing in yourself and believing what you bring to the table. When you work into a solution, that should validate you. That should validate your relationship. When y'all find a solution and you know you can work towards anything together as a unit, you're stronger. You're just looking for your own personal gain and to be validated within your relationship. You're weakening the relationship because it's all about you.
Well, all right, let me try to articulate better what I'm saying. I guess like even in the process of looking towards a solution with your partner, you know what I mean? Like the fact that you would take time to hear each other's point of view, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. and work towards those compromises, that's a validation right there. The fact that I'm even acknowledging what you're saying, you know what I'm saying? Because like if you feel like a person is not valid or you're not validating them, you don't even want to hear what they got to say. Like you don't even, you know what I'm saying, regard their opinion or how it affects them, you know what I'm saying? So like that in and of itself is a validation. The fact that you're working towards a solution.
But that's respecting their opinion. So you're around people that you respect, and that's cool. So yeah. I want to make a move, and I'm not really too sure about it. I run it by Aziz. We talk about it, and I respect his opinion. So I'm gonna take in what he says, and then make a decision based on the discussion. There's nothing wrong with that. He's not validating. He's not making me feel like, I want to say, let me get away from the feeling. But he's not validating how I'm not going to him to determine how I feel about myself about making the decision. You know what I mean? I'm going to him to bounce ideas off of each other so that we can bounce ideas off of each other so I can make the best decision, not just for me, but I'm sure whatever decision I make affects everyone else that I'm around. So that's just because you respect somebody's opinion, that's the order of things. When you're looking for somebody to validate how, like, what you bring to the table, who you are as a person, or confirm that, then that's a different situation.
So I guess, if I may chime in real quick. So I thought of an example. So like say you are in a relationship, you know, and y'all know your rent is due, right? And you take the rent money because you want to go come up and you go gamble the rent money, right? And you come back and you tell your girl or the case may be, the rent money is gone. So I guess the question would be, since it was a selfish decision, what will validate you to make that decision? Like, how is that making us better? Like, what kind of like how did that decision make us better? Like, how are we getting better as a couple? So I mean, that's how I kind of look at that. Like, validation is more like it's I and me.
Yeah, that wasn't a valid move.
What we want to be clear, I want to be clear on is validation. When we discuss validation, what I'm saying is the solution should be your validation. When you're looking to be validated within your relationship is different than actually being valid within your relationship. So when you're valid within your relationship, you're looking to equal in your eyes. So you never need to be told that you're great because they wouldn't be with you unless you was great.
Okay.
So being in their presence actually validates who you are as a human being. So you never need to validate. You never need that person to validate who you are, validate what you mean, validate how you feel. You already know you're taken care of because you're in a committed relationship.
So you mean through words, Aziz? You mean like you don't need words of affirmation?
Definitely. Well, that's what it is. It's recognition, affirmation. You know what I mean? It's those things. You know what I mean? It's like their feelings, their opinion has to be valid. It's worthwhile. Like you have to convince the person that their opinions are worthwhile. Like, for example, me and you get into a back and forth, and we're passionate about our point of views and our perspective. So we're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And one person says, yo, you just always want to be right. At that point, you know that it's a defense. At that point, you know that the person doesn't feel validated. They already put themselves at a lower level, because if both people are fighting for their point, both people want to be right.
Yeah.
You see? So why one person believes the other person just wants to be right?
Mm-hmm.
When you're arguing opposite points anyway. Think about that. So that's a sign, that's a sign of validation. Once you now start getting defensive, it means you need to be validated within the discussion.
Okay.
Both people are passionate. Both people want to have discussion. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Somebody just I didn't see who that was, but somebody just typed out a comment that I think I agreed with. It just flashed on my screen. I didn't really get to remember what it said. In psychology, it's acknowledging a person's feelings, thoughts.
Feelings, thoughts, sensations, and behaviors as understandable.
Should not be understood. Yeah.
Yeah. The issue is number one. Yeah, so when you're searching for validation, you're trying to accomplish something. That's jazz, by the way. If you are trying to accomplish something and you're searching for validation, how do you get towards a solution when you're worried about your feelings? You're worrying about your opinion. You're worrying about being valid in your opinion and your feelings.
Or you're worried about being right.
You're looking for recognition.
Okay.
As opposed to working towards a solution.
Okay.
Solution covers everybody within the structure.
Yeah, I think it might be it's not healthy to look for validation. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yo, how does this shirt look on me? You know what I'm saying? Like that you're doing too much. But I think it's definitely good to give validation when appropriate. You know what I mean? Like, yo, if you gave me a good idea, or you gave me a good technique that caused me to get success. Like, matter of fact, I was just speaking with someone earlier that gave me a good technique that I ended up using to quit smoking cigarettes for 2 years. You know what I'm saying? I was like, you know what? By the way, I never got a chance to thank you for that. That technique that you gave me, you know, caused me to be successful in quitting smoking. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I gave that validation. Person wasn't looking for it, but I felt like it was appropriate to give it, you know?
But what was the validation due to?
You said, what was it due to?
Yeah.
Me being appreciative that, you know what I'm saying, I was successful because of that technique.
And what did the technique do for you?
It gave me a strategy. You know what I'm saying? It gave me a strategy.
Solution. It gave you a solution.
It solved the problem, and that's what we're saying. You get validation through the solution.
So Jazz,
you're saying if you're looking for personal validation, you're giving the person their props. You're acknowledging them, which is, it does validate. It doesn't truly validate. It doesn't say, okay, they knew they was valid when they gave you the solution.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we kind of lost contact, so the person might not have known whether or not I was successful
you
with
appreciate it.
Yeah.
But they knew they was valid when they gave you the solution, so you showed that you was appreciative, which is two different things. You see? Okay. They already knew that they was valid, or they wouldn't have gave you the solution. They wouldn't have been confident in that solution.
Yeah, but don't sometimes you shoot shots in the dark hoping it hits a target, so you don't know if you gave a solution or not?
No.
I
mean,
why are you giving solutions? Why are you giving solutions to a problem if you're not convicted?
No, I mean, I might give you a solution that I know would work for me, but I don't know if it would work for you. You know what I'm saying?
But you believe in it, so that's why you're giving it. Yeah.
Why would you give it to me? If you're not confident it'll work for me, why are you giving it to me?
Because I'm hoping that it would work for you, and I also have no control of the other variables, whether or not you'll follow the advice, whether.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, just etc. Though, whether or not you'll follow the advice or whatever other variable, you know what I mean. So like, I got no control over that stuff.
You don't.
But that shouldn't really matter.
You're giving the advice believing that you control it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get what I'm saying? You're giving the advice believing that you're going to help me get to the next level. Why would you ever give advice not confident that it will support a person?
Right.
That's why a lot of people in the room keep their mouth shut, because they don't believe that their solutions will carry over.
That's real.
But if they actually open their mouth, they open the mouth with convicted. Like if you walk up to me and say, yo, listen, I really think if you cross the street when it says walk, you're less likely to hit by a car. You believe, you're confident that that's going to work. You can't control whether I'm walking the street or not. But when you say it to me, you believe it's going to work.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Like, I'll take it a step further. If you have an issue or a problem and you're supposed to be my friend and we have a relationship and you don't give me a suggestion, you know what I mean, to improve, ever got to improve, then I would challenge our friendship. So I definitely agree with what Aziz is saying.
You get what I'm saying? Like, we can't control the what ifs. So you always walk through life confident. It's just like chasing a dream. You believe you got to see the destination before you walk. But it's not present. So yes, it's hope. Yes, it's faith. But you got to see it. So it's just like a solution. When you sit down and you have a discussion and you're talking to somebody you believe is like-minded, because obviously we got to keep focused on the fact that we're talking about relationships and people that you are already connected with and building with, not strangers, not co-workers, not associates. We're talking about personal relationships, people that you actually are building relationships with, friendships, partnerships. We didn't even talk about family, because you're not necessarily building with family. When you call somebody your friend, you selected them. When you call somebody your partner, you selected them. So y'all both, with that commitment, y'all both agreed to go through life trying to solve each other's problems and bring the best out of one another. But if one person comes in with a variety of problems that always need to be solved, it turns into validation. You get what I'm saying? Because what do they bring into the relationship if you're always solving their problems?
Well, I want to touch on something that Drastic said about, asking someone, how does this shirt look? If it's somebody that you care about and you respect their opinion, there's nothing wrong with you asking those questions. Now, that may either you value their opinion or you respect their opinion, so you asking them how you look. Now, you could take that information and say, you know what, if they say, oh, the shirt doesn't look good on you, you take it off. If you're like, damn, the shirt looks a little weird on me, but thank you for being honest with me, I don't feel like changing, I'm gonna keep it on. You know what I mean? But still or not, like, there's nothing wrong with asking those questions to the people that you respect. I don't think that's too much.
Nah, that was like an inside joke that I was only privy to. Basically,
I guess I didn't get the punchline.
Yeah. I was hanging out with a homegirl one day, and she works a job at a public place. And one of her customers came in, like some creepy old man, you know what I mean? Like, hey, how's this shirt make me look? You know what I'm saying? Just out of nowhere, just as soon as he walked through the door. So I guess you had to be there, but you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, with your woman, or you know what I'm saying, somebody you close to, yeah, obviously, yeah. How do I look? I'm getting ready to go out. That makes sense. But like, as a perfect stranger, you know what I'm saying? Like, now you're just fishing for compliments and stuff, you know?
Well, yeah, we only talk about personal relationships. We don't care about the strangers. But when when we're having conflict with the people that we love or the people that we care about, and we're not pulling our weight, or we're wrong, at this point we've been wrong the majority of the time. A lot of times the arguments turn into, I'm not good enough, or I'm always wrong, or you're looking just to be right instead of solving the problem. So all of us knows what solution looks like. All of us knows what it is to find solution in conflict, right? But there's this other side of it that a lot of us don't like to talk about, where when you are falling short, or when there is a disconnect between you and the people that you care about, and you maybe messed up a couple of times, and instead of being humble and really trying to work your way to the better place, you're just looking for little ways to be right within the whole situation, instead of doing right, instead of being right, instead of understanding that you were a part of the problem at some point and you have to work a little harder. So that's something that we need to address as well.
Yeah.
Definitely. You have to figure out, like, are you really in their position be in a relationship where you're now a part of the solution. You're part of the decision making. You know, if you're a leader, you want to actually be in a relationship with other leaders because they're unafraid to make decisions. You know what I mean? So you're going to make decisions that obviously when we making decisions, even with our kids, when you're a parent, you're a leader in your household at all times. You know what I mean? Like that's the only time when I sit and I talk to people, that's the only place everybody knows that they are a leader.
They have to lead. Mm-hmm.
You know, you have to lead. So when we sit and talk to people, like I've been at jobs where, you know, we sit down and we're having discussion and they're complaining about, you know, what upper management is doing all the time. You know what I mean? And I'm saying as a parent, do you tell your child everything that's going on in the meetings that you go through, or are you trying to give them enough information to guide them in the right direction?
Yeah.
And when you look at upper management, think how hard it is. It's easy to critique them, but look how hard it is. They're going from maybe somebody that's a little above them. They're in meetings with them, telling them what to do. And then they got to come and actually sit in a meeting and discuss that with a group of people that may be disgruntled, half may not agree. So I always explain to them, you got to look at the importance of working as a team. And right now, this is your leadership. So if you break your leadership up, who's leading now? You know? So when you're looking at parenting, when you see parenting, the main thing is to look towards solution, right? The main thing is to support your children. The main thing is to give them a path to walk on. The main thing is to try to solidify life as much as possible so they could actually walk on the pavement. But if you have a bunch of, you know, you got to validate them all the time. That's a nice outfit and you look nice and you do all this. We disagree. We believe in accountable parenting. So it means if you teach your kids how to really, really look for solutions, that's the validation in life. If you teach them to actually solve problems, you teach them how to look at something and be optimistic about it. That helps them with their self-worth. Not coddling them, not telling them everything's gonna be all right when it's not. You teach them how to solve, you work through it with them. You problem solve. So we also deal with people and we also have sessions on accountable parenting where we discussing these things, where we typically tell our kids, you're just great at this and you're just amazing at this, and believe we're building self-esteem. But when they go back, let's say on a basketball court, they go back on the basketball court and they're still not as good as the other kids. Mm-hmm. So what you gonna say? You wanna be as good as the other kids, work to be as good as the other kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
You don't validate, you give them solutions.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that's the difference. When your kid is constantly looking towards you for validation, I don't know if you're doing them a service. So it's the same with your friends. It's the same with your partner. Are you doing them a service when you're constantly validating them? You know what I mean?
I guess from the example that you just gave, that's the difference between lying and telling the truth. If your kid sucks at basketball, you're not going to tell them, oh, you're great. It's going to be, no, you tell them, like, yo, run some drills, do some suicides. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Like, this is how you're going to get better. Like, yeah, you're good at where you're at, but you need to step up. You need to improve. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's the difference between lying and telling the truth.
So the key word that I'm hearing right now is enabling. Like when you enable somebody, you know what I'm saying? It's like, that's the word that I'm hearing right now.
Definitely.
Well, yeah, well, we live in a time where every, you know, for children, since we're on the topic of children, everyone wins a trophy. You know what I mean? Everyone gets an award. And you know, we have to find that balance of not everyone's great. And if you want to be great, you can work toward it, but not everyone is great. And people deserve awards when they are great. Not everyone deserves the same award. And the same thing with other adults. If I'm home with my man and he thinks I'm the greatest thing ever, he doesn't really challenge me, and I go out to the outside world and I'm trying to foster relationships with other people, friendships and stuff, and I realize that, wait, I'm having conflict because I'm not that great of a communicator. Say that, and he never told me that. We've never had the discussion. You know what I mean? So we need to be around people who's going to challenge us to be the best versions of ourselves. So when we are connecting with other people outside of the people that we already have relationships with, we can have relationships that make sense. Not that we're in this bubble and I'm thinking I'm one way and I have an idea of who I am based on the feedback that I'm given from the people around me, and then I go to other people and they think I'm freaking crazy. You know what I mean? Like, that should never be the reality.
Yeah.
So we want to give you the distinction between, like, we're saying going in the relationship with the mentality that your relationship, the person that you're looking at, should validate you. How do I look in this dress? How do I look? You know, they should validate you as opposed to being honest with you, as opposed to starting dialogue. We want people to be more effective communicators. So our aim is always to say, when you're dealing with an equal, you don't have to coddle an equal. When you're dealing with an equal, you can speak freely. When you're dealing with an equal, you don't have to validate them because they feel valid within the relationship. Do you get what I'm saying? And there's too many problems for me to now start validating you when we have so many problems we have to tackle as a unit. You know, honestly, you have friends that you can tackle life with. If your friend is taken away from your life, like we sit here and enable people all the time. We attach ourselves to people that are going to take from our lives. And because we want to feel needed, we're constantly dealing with people that take from our lives. And we feel like we're great people for actually keeping them around, but actually you're standing still because you're actually dragging them all the time, as opposed to dealing with people that are going to the next level and challenging you to be at your best at all times.
It goes back to your principles.
Definitely.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
You know, we talk to a variety of people, and every time, like, when we talk about validation and we talk about having equals, I can give you a scenario. Maybe like a year ago, Jehovah's Witness knocked on my door early in the morning, right? And it's like, you know, I want to talk to you about my beliefs and, you know, Kingdom Hall and things of that nature, going to the kingdom. And I'm a man that believes that I want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear what you're passionate about. So I would invite you in, you know? But I said, understand, I'm going to now talk to you about my belief system and the things I believe and the things, you know, like I believe in love and so on and so forth. So I want to discuss that as well. And they didn't really want to talk. Why? Because they were out trying to just, and they spreading their message because they believe their message is the way to heaven. They believe that, they believe heaven on earth, but their message is the way to the good grace of God, right? But I also believe that. Now we're in conflict. But the difference is, I'm like, you know, I'm willing to be proven wrong if we're going to sit down and have this discussion. I can learn new information. Maybe you can change my whole faith. They weren't open to be proven wrong in that situation, or they weren't open to have the discussion because it may sway them from their belief system. They don't know. You know what I mean? So when you knock on somebody's door, the moral of that is be equals. Understand you might knock on somebody's door that might invite you in, but they see you as an equal and they're going to have discussions with you as an equal, working towards a solution. How can we find common ground? We all believing in something different. So that's what the discussion should really be about when it comes to faith. But really it's about, you know, what you believe, what that person believes, what this person believes. Let's respect everybody's belief. And then we don't really have dialogue because the person's belief is not respected. Are y'all following me on that?
Yeah.
I think I've been on the other side of what you're talking about, where I'm expressing my faith to people that might not necessarily agree with, you know what I'm saying, my views. I'm still gonna hear them out, you know what I'm saying, and respect them as a person. To, like, we're gonna have dialogue, you know what I'm saying, but I'm not gonna be like, if their beliefs is contrary to my beliefs, you know what I'm saying, I'm still gonna stand firm on where I'm at. But I give them an opportunity to speak and then rebut it, you know what I mean?
Right. So I believe, you know what I mean? So I feel what drastically you're saying. Like, I mean, y'all know what I'm doing. So it's like, I mean, my line is drawn in the sand. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying I wouldn't listen to what you're saying and, you know, hear what you're saying, because I'm all about, just like what y'all are about here, I'm all about conversation. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about having the hard conversations, but there's a line that's drawn. Once you cross that line, you know, there's decisions that have to be.
Yeah, and that's the important thing. We have to make decisions. And I wasn't upset about their decision making, but the point is, what are we really discussing? Are we discussing validating your faith, or are we discussing working towards a solution? Did you knock on my door to actually now let's look for and search for a solution where we all can coexist? or you're knocking on my door so I can coexist with your faith. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, it's the latter, obviously.
It's with the intent. You get what I'm saying? So at that same breath, we understand that relationships are a faith. You never know what the person is doing when they leave your presence.
Mm-hmm.
You never know what the person is doing when they're texting you or calling you. You can't see it, you know? And most people believe seeing is believing, but it's a faith. So if you go in to that faith searching for solutions, you're more inclined to have a healthier relationship, a healthier dialogue. You're more inclined to grow as a team. You're more inclined to evolve as one unit versus going in there to be validated. You know what I mean? Like you see people and they truly believe, yo, this man should deck me out and take care of me and X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, how is that? What are you doing for him? And it's a belief system. Like they truly believe this. But now it's like, what you doing for him? Well, I'm giving him sex.
Mm-hmm.
But he's giving you sex.
Mm-hmm.
So again, what are you doing for him? You know, and it's the constant understanding, like, well, we do what we want to do. Just because you have the ability to do what you want to do don't mean it's healthy. Doesn't mean it's healthy.
Yeah, some people put so much value on sex, especially these days. It's like that's what they lead with. Definitely. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously that's all they got to offer. You know what I mean? And because that's all they got to offer, they overvalue it and feel like that's more valuable than what it really is.
Definitely, but it's a lack of validation, right?
Yeah.
A lack of value, like you just said. So if now they're working toward, they go in like, what could I do for this guy? And what could he do for me? Now the relationship is different. Now you're thinking different. How could I enhance his life? How could he enhance my life? You giving a dude a handshake. How could he enhance my life? How could I enhance your life? Because that's why you could go play ball with 10 people. You're probably not cool with any of them.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, I definitely
felt
that.
Men that you on a basketball court with, that you have no true connection with. Why? Because y'all didn't shake hands.
Don't know none of them.
Going the right direction.
I understand that one. Yeah.
But when y'all walk on the court, and if y'all on the same team, y'all have one common goal: to win.
Right.
When y'all leave the court, y'all don't have one common goal. So on the court, y'all had the right idea. Off the court, y'all didn't. Y'all decided to be separate. Why? Because solution is not big. It's all about validation. And what happened? Everybody that played basketball know what happens when somebody just wants to score. Destroys the whole team.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it.
It's an instant issue. Instant issue.
Pass the ball, X, Y, and Z. People's unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because that person wants to be validated by the people around them, the people watching. He wants to be known as the best. Do you get what I'm saying?
That's an excellent analogy. Excellent analogy.
Well, I knew you.
Yeah, I know. Every basketball analogy, you're like super hyped around.
I mean, with me, it's like when I'm trying to we all trying to get better, but when he puts something to something that I'm like, oh, you know what? Now I get it. Like it's like I understand, but now I get it. Because I've been on the court before where Cat think he's an All-American and he wants to, and we like, yo, don't pass this cat the ball no more. Like it's not gonna happen. But that was excellent. I appreciate that.
Definitely. But
all right,
it's all about working towards a solution. Go ahead. What you were saying, Jerry?
I was gonna say everyone that didn't share the live so we can have it circulating.
Yeah, I know like everything seems a little mellow.
I know everyone's like It's weird today.
It's like it's been a long week. The
energy is different.
Yeah, it's been a long week for everybody. And everybody's real mellow. I mean, I guess this is a topic I guess a lot of people can see eye to eye on. Because we're really looking to a solution. But really it's to educate people. Oh yeah, it is raining, snowing, and sleeting outside.
Snowing and sleeting? Wow.
Earlier.
Right. Yeah, it was coming down. It was like we thought we was in Revelation.
Yeah,
I think we are.
Yeah, I knew you would get that one. I knew you would take that one and run with it, drastic. But I felt like everything was just like it's sleeting. It's the summertime.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it was crazy, but I guess that that took a toll. But I really want everybody to really start looking at relationships as, we say love is a group journey, and we really strongly believe love is a group journey. Like, everybody talks about self-love, and we always get back, like, if y'all ever heard our podcast, Accountable Love, the Accountable Love Podcast, y'all know we always talk about, we have discussions about what love is. And we believe love doesn't start until you start connecting with other people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, if you were put on this earth just to love yourself, then you would be on the earth by yourself.
Yeah.
The point is, love doesn't start until you love other people, until you connect with other people. So you care about yourself, you know what I mean? And you teach yourself self-awareness so you can actually pick people so you can truly love yourself. Because those people really reconfirm that you love yourself because of the type of people you have around you. You ever sat with somebody and you're like, yo, dude, mad cool, whatever. And then you see his best friend. And his best friend's a slime ball.
Yeah.
And you like, wait up. That changed everything. You know what I mean? Like, how do you actually love yourself and homeboy just treat you like that? You know what I mean? You start looking at things different.
Right.
Or yeah, the people or the type of people that other people date. Like, that's another sign. Like, you have a person that appears to be very self-aware and maybe solution-driven and may have boundaries, and then they're dating, or they're supposed to be principle-driven, but they're dating the local drug dealer. Like, you start to see those people differently.
Yeah, like I remember being on the bus one time, seeing this couple argue. I can't even say the couple was arguing. The woman was just violating, like, thoroughly, tremendously, calling them all kinds of names, just disrespect up and down. And this guy's just quiet, not even saying nothing. And I'm like, yo, how'd they even end up together? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how is this even cool?
Yeah, like they didn't learn how to work towards a solution. So that's what we're talking about. We done had a discussion on, on self-worth. We done had a discussion on unhealthy. We done had a discussion on support. We done had a discussion
on conflict.
We done had a discussion on how to argue, in a healthy way. We have all these discussions leading up to this because we want people to understand that everything you're being taught, everything you're being fed, you really need to start thinking about what you're being fed. You need to start thinking about what's being said to you when it comes to relationships. Relationships are not about self-preservation. It's about moving as one unit. And who you connected to reflects you.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's all about not wanting to be wrong. Because sometimes you're not going to be right all the time. And you should go in knowing that and understanding that. And that shouldn't make or break who you are. That shouldn't make or break the relationship. The other person shouldn't have to pay for the fact that you're wrong again. You know what I mean? And I think, we all get caught up, and I know I do at times. You get caught up in, not wanting to be wrong again and not being mature enough to admit that you are wrong. Even the littlest of things, like I said left, you said go right. You know what I mean? Like it can get a little out of hand, but I think that it's really important for everyone to be aware of those things and be mindful. Like, it's okay to be wrong sometimes, but when you are wrong, own it, learn from it, and don't be wrong about the same things over and over again.
Right. And to piggyback on what you just said, like, I feel like me personally, because what you just said, Jerry, I have, so, right now it's June, it's almost July. There are things that happened back in December and January that I wasn't able to say I was wrong at, but that took maturity and that took growth. So sometimes that happens too.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. But, we also have a movement when it comes to leadership. So what we tend to do to our people that actually are solution driven, like, we always call them and be like, yo, listen, I didn't want a solution. I just wanted to vent.
Yeah, I've heard
that. Which is one of those statements that, like, clearly says to me, like, huh?
Somebody said that to you before?
Yo, you already know.
You've never heard that
People
before?
say it all the time.
Oh,
yeah, like, what are you telling me your problems for?
I
No
say,
one
I
never
listen
told
to
me
people,
that.
and I'm like, you just calling the vent. I said, you can vent to a wall. Like, you don't vent to people because they have opinions. They have views. And they always like, sometimes people don't want the answer. They just want to hear themselves out loud. And I'm just like, all the things we're feeding each other. And I'm just like, yo, how is that a healthy relationship? So you basically telling me if somebody's outside and they poop on themselves, I'm their people. I want to run upstairs and go get something to change them with. And they're like, you know, sometimes people just want to stay in their shit. That's what it says to me. Like, that's what I'm hearing. Like, so you want to stay in a bad situation. You don't want solution. That just says to me you're not trying to move forward. So we're really big on what's going on with our leadership. Like, why are we so afraid to be, like, why are you with a leader and why you sign up for a leader if you don't feel validated next to them? If you still live in comparative and you don't realize that that person leads and you went and acquired a strong human being so you could in turn be strong yourself. You get what I'm saying? So like, yeah, if a person is solution driven, think about it. They cold. Think about the titles they get. They cold.
You don't understand.
You don't understand.
Out of touch.
You don't see the other side. Mm-hmm. I mean, even to some degree, being drastic, we go back and forth on here sometimes because I'm just like, he's like, yo, you just gonna walk up and tell somebody they stink? You could say it a different way, right? And I'm like, what makes you think that a guy like me that helps people with relationships doesn't see the other side of it? Hasn't even been on the other side where they try to make sense out of everything, try to say it nicely, try to do it this way, and actually learn from that situation and say, well, being direct, because at the end of the day, everybody has to get direct.
Yeah, if you
Most people do it when they fed up as opposed to doing it from the beginning.
Now, you know what? Like, I was thinking about that. It's funny that you bring this up. Like, I'm very direct. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing in me that wants to lie to anybody about anything. You know what I'm saying? I think I just label it differently when I say, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm careful about how I deliver it. Like even if I'm careful about how I deliver it, like, you're not going to miss my point. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to give you the honest 100% truth. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm not going to be blunt as you described that. That means, you know, that's blunt force, or, you know what I'm saying? Like that hits you over there. I can't remember exactly how you articulate. Like, I'm not going to be unnecessary.
But blunt has an intention.
It's an intent to harm.
Yeah. So I'm not going to be blunt unnecessarily. I'll be blunt if I have to. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to be blunt unnecessarily. Like, the truth is going to come forth. You know what I mean?
I feel like that goes back to your vocabulary. I'm very direct in a lot of the things I do, especially being me in education. We have my own podcast as well. I don't see nothing wrong with being, not blunt, but direct with stuff. I mean, that all goes back to vocabulary. So you're not intending to hurt people's feelings, but you need to know, they need to know what's going on.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, why did you ever realize why leadership always has to be mindful of everybody else? Always. I sat in my household all the time. I've been the person who's been blunt. Well, not blunt, but excuse me. I've been straightforward forever. Been told I was blunt until I looked it up and was like, well, that's not me. I'm straightforward. And everybody's always telling me how I should articulate things. Mind you, they keeping secrets. Mind you, they lying to each other. Mind you, and I'm just sitting back, and it's like, why? Listen, why do I have to be more like you when you should be more like me? But when you look at it, when you look at everything that's going on, when you look at when people are talking, they're always telling leaders what they need to be doing. So when we're in a relationship, you sit back and you're like, yo, you know, you should be kinder to her. And you're like, how do you know that this is not being kind to her? Did you ever try this? Did you ever try being straightforward with your partner, being direct with your partner, having absence of pretense with your partner, and actually letting her know or letting him know exactly what's on your mind and seeing if he can deal with you as raw as possible? Seeing if he truly, we always talk about oh, well, you know, be yourself. Who's really themselves? Because I sit back and watch a lot of people and I'm like, who is truly themselves? I know a few. I know most people trying to be political in relationships. And they very angry within their relationships because they can't communicate. If a person tells me, solution-wise, you don't understand. No, I can't walk in your shoes, but isn't the part of this, having this discussion, is so you can actually show me what you mean, explain to me what you mean, express to me what you mean, because I'm still sitting here. I didn't walk away. I didn't close off. That's one thing about me. I'm going to sit there and have a discussion with you for hours.
Same word. Yeah.
So I want to know what's happening. But once you shut me down by saying, sometimes I don't want solution. Sometimes you don't understand. No, I don't understand a lot of things, granted. I haven't been there. I haven't experienced. Understanding is two different things. But it's your job to educate me if I don't understand. That's the point.
Yeah, people want to take the emotional way out and put their emotions out there, lead with their emotions, and that's supposed to be the end of the conversation. By telling someone you don't understand, that's saying I don't want to talk anymore. That's
like
what that's saying.
Like, to your point, like, I believe, like, everyone can vent. I get that part. Like, we all go through and we vent. But I feel like if you vent, then, like, you should let me respond. Like, you should let me help you. Like, you should let me give you a solution. What's the point of venting to someone and you don't want help? You called me, you finding me for a reason.
That's complaining.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. It's complaining.
Definitely. I'm saying it's not venting no more if you are able to talk. That's why people use the vent. Once you invented venting, everybody's been using it.
Yeah.
Because really, they only call it venting when they don't like your response.
Oh,
when they like your response, they're not calling it venting no more. They're like, word.
Yeah.
What do they want to be? Validated. They don't want solutions. They want to be validated. I was walking down the street, Jerry walking down the street, and and one girl was like, yeah, this woman came out here with homegirl came with her mother. We was gonna fight, and homegirl came with her mother. And then the girl in the back, her friend walking like, with her mother though?
Yeah.
And then she went off on a tangent, started talking, yeah, I would have hit her if she wasn't with her mother. Yo, she was with her mother though. All the other girls just kept saying. So we sitting there like, where's this friendship going, man?
Yeah.
Because homegirl is just a cheerleader.
Mind you, they looked like they were a decent age. They were past their 20s. So the fact that they were out there fighting and you had the hype man, the hype woman, it was just crazy.
That's the whole conversation, man. That's all.
That's what we mean by validating. Like, we want to be clear on that. That's what we mean by feeling validated. Like, you're so blind to the fact that somebody is just putting a battery in your back versus helping you and assisting you.
Mm-hmm.
All you want around you is people that make you feel good.
Yeah.
Not people that solidify you are good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't want to grow if that's the case. If all you want is people that make you feel good, you don't want to grow. You don't want to move forward in life. You want to stay where you're at.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? And by default, there's no such thing as staying where you're at. You're either moving forward or you're moving backwards. There's no in between.
Definitely. I mean, and a lot of people make like quote, and they say things that are actual. Like even what Maya Angelou said, people always remember how you make them feel. It's 100% true. They always gonna remember that. But feelings are not the true story. How many times your parent made you feel a certain way, but was telling you the God's honest truth?
That's deep.
So you hold on to these grudges, and the only time you realize that your parent was on point is when you have kids yourself.
Yeah.
15 years upset with your parent until you wound up doing the same thing and understood what they were doing, as opposed to seeing where they're coming from, because they're the person leading you in the right direction. They will never harm you. Well, let's say good parents. They will never harm you, put you in harm's way. They're always there to actually encourage you to go in the right direction. And who's the first people that's going to be straightforward with you? Your parents.
Mm-hmm.
You stink, go take a shower. You know, you didn't do your homework, you're getting punished.
Yeah.
They give you the example of there is consequences to your actions. There's always consequences to your actions. And a lot of people want to abolish the consequences. We live in a world where they're like, yo, there shouldn't be no consequences. Okay, I cheated on you. Get over it. How long you going to be mad? Right, Darrell?
Yo, time out. Oh.
So you set yourself up because I didn't even think of that until you started falling back.
For the record, I don't. First of all, the cheating part wasn't me. Okay. But anyway, I don't. That's not how I think no more. I don't think that way no more. Y'all gonna start calling me out too, man. Yeah, I'm different.
We got to see the growth. But at the end of the day, that's the type of relationships we believe is loyalty, man. We don't say loyalty is not cheating. We say loyalty is sticking by the cheater.
Mm-hmm.
We don't say loyalty is not getting my house kicked, my door kicked in because the cops are checking for drugs. We talking about sticking by my home, boy. That's the loyalty. Forget that they brought drugs in your house.
I was going to say, hold on. What do you, hold on. I was going to say, what's your point there?
Yeah, we skipped that. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the point.
He's saying we put value on the wrong values.
Definitely.
Like we prioritize the wrong things.
No doubt.
So there's this push towards, people make mistakes. No, people don't make mistakes. People rectify their mistakes. That's what a person is.
And you know what? The more
I haven't been in sound in mind and made stupid decisions. But what made me a human was my ability to rectify that decision.
Mm-hmm.
I made a mistake, yes, but am I willing to put in the work to correct that mistake?
Right, you're willing to restore the relationship.
Over again. You made that mistake, write that over again. Like, we want you to be excellent. We don't just want you to be average, we want you to be excellent. So that's what the love snobs are all about. Like, we're having these discussions so people can look in their relationships and start working towards excellence. Not just being average, not just quote unquote being human, but being role models. You know what I mean? Being the part of humanity that actually really sets the bar for what being human should look like. But instead dude made a mistake. I mean, let go of it.
But the thing of
go ahead. Sorry, Jerry.
But the thing about that is, a lot of those things are self-inflicted, right? So the more that we connect with people that are not, the more that we connect on vices, the more that we connect on the wrong thing, the more that we are having those connections with people that are not healthy, the more our self-esteem takes a hit, the more that we're looking for validation outside of that because we feel like shit, right? And we're just looking for that glimmer of hope, but without adjusting our principles. So a lot of times it's self-inflicted. Like the more we don't trust ourselves to make the proper connection, or we believe that we deserve to get treated a certain way because we, at this point, I don't really feel good about myself. So why should I don't deserve anything better than what I'm getting. Then you are staying with the person who's lying, staying with the person that's cheating, staying with the person that's not really doing what they're supposed to be doing within a relationship because you don't feel that you deserve better. And that also ties into your self-esteem, that ties into your self-worth, and then you're running around needing to be validated because of all the choices that you made as well. So all that ties in together.
I mean, what do y'all think, brothers? We don't want to take up everything. You know what I mean? Like, share stories, share things that y'all possibly may have thought in the past.
I guess the main thing that sticks out to me was one thing that you said earlier that you just kind of brushed past it. It's like, like people, like when you was talking about the venting situation, the person's like, oh, I was just venting. And like that made so much sense because I've had people come to me with their problems And like, I'm solution oriented, so immediately I'm like, all right, how we get a solution for this? Like, what's the best plan of action for this? And they're like, you know what I'm saying? And then people have that attitude, like, nah, I was just sharing, I was just like, what are you sharing your problem with me for though? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I think you hit it on the head. Like, anytime, like, if a person is in the wrong and you co-sign it, they're not gonna have that response. But anytime there's something that they need to correct about their approach or about their character in that situation, that's when they take offense and it's like, nah, I just wanted to vent. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't looking for a solution to my problem. Like, that's the cop-out, because they don't want to be accountable for actually elevating their way of thinking or elevating how they approach these situations, you know?
And what are they looking for?
They're looking for validation.
This is what I'm saying. So now you're getting what I'm saying. It's all about them. They didn't realize I actually stopped, walked up to another human being, and there's going to be a response from this human being, whether I like it or not. There's going to be a response. No, they're like, I'm just going to share my problems, my issues, my information, and they have to sit there and just listen to me.
Because they don't know me those are right or wrong. Like me,
Darrell, you're breaking up.
there's been times where I've been on and
Darrell, you breaking up. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Oh.
I guess not.
No, you're back, right?
Can you hear me now?
It's kind of choppy.
It's kind of choppy. Yeah, man, my internet's terrible. What about now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you breaking up a little bit.
I mean, so hopefully y'all can hear me.
I can hear you.
Basically what I was saying was, basically what I was saying was, I mean, there's times I've been on here. There's times where you're so stuck in your ways, and you're bending and you say what you need to say, and you asking if someone validates your point, like, yo, do you agree? And someone's like, no, I think you're crazy right now. Like, everything you're saying right now is wrong. I understand why this or that person is upset with you. And you fall back like, now you're getting defensive. So sometimes it's hard when you want to vent because you think you're so right, you're really wrong.
I mean, and sometimes you're right. Sometimes you right so much, people don't get you. Sometimes you right, you so wise, you're right 10 years later. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, that's one of them things. But at the end of the day, when you look at searching to a solution, and you realize all you want to do is be validated, and then you look around you and you're alone. You get what I'm saying? And then you look back and you start blaming those people for leaving you. It becomes a cycle of self-pity versus you realizing I went into this relationship being validated, wanting to be validated, and I drank the relationship and pushed everybody away.
Mm.
Our job is always to like bring people closer to you. And I don't just mean anybody. I don't want y'all with packs of people. You know, I hope that it becomes a movement where love is a group journey and people are really coming together with great intentions. You know what I mean? But we really believe like you build a village with a small group, and then y'all kind of work with other people that build villages as well. Maybe y'all can't coexist on a regular basis, but y'all working towards that same goal. You know, that's the whole point. But you can't get there and you can't be as strong as you want to be without strong communication and without being really solution driven. Like how we're going to accomplish the goals we set out to accomplish. How do you sit down and say, listen, we want to start a family? Do we do that anymore?
Yeah.
No, it's like, yo, I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and then it's like the family started. Hey. And then we look back and think, why is our relationship falling apart? Because we didn't sit down and we wasn't intentional about what we were doing and what we were prepared for. Yo, but everybody can't be that disciplined. Well, then you'll have 3 kids, and then now you can't go out like you used to, and you upset that you have these kids and you're not raising them because you look at them as a burden versus a great responsibility.
Mm.
You see mentality manifest, and then you don't understand because I have 3 kids, you don't have no kids. You see, everybody, do you not see that the struggle wins every time?
Yeah.
Everybody that was responsible, solution driven, made sure they had their ducks in a row. They never understand anybody. And they're usually the people wearing multiple hats.
Mm-hmm.
They're usually the people that's the foundation for multiple people. But somehow they never understand. But when I told you when you had the first kid, yo, come on, like, let's get it together, start communicating with her. Start making decisions, start being intentional about interacting with her. You had the second kid, I was there, boom, boom, boom. You had the third kid, I'm like sliding off. Yo, how you gonna just leave me after I have all these kids? Because you never listen to me, that's why, right? There's never a discussion to be had. You do what you want to do anyway. What's the point of having Mr. Solution around when you're gonna just do what you want to do anyway? So you have to understand, like, everything you do does affect other people. When you're not intentional, when you're not solution driven, when you're more emotionally driven, it does affect other people. When we talk about emotion, we think it's a beautiful thing. So when we use emotion, we're talking about using it as a weapon. We're talking about using it unintentionally. We're not talking about being emotionally intelligent, like, listen, I'm very upset right now what you just did. Mm-hmm. Boom, 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 boom. And explaining and expressing it, but explaining why this is making you upset. We're talking about, yo, you got me, you making me upset, yo, I'm out, and walking out the door. What makes you think the person's still gonna be there when you come back? Mm-hmm. You walked out on them. They didn't walk out on you.
Well, it's always like it's like always the guilt of when you're a little bit more emotionally intelligent than the other person. You feel like I learned, they don't know yet. You know, I want to teach them. But the thing about that is the other person has to want to learn as well. If the other person doesn't realize that they have a deficiency and they need the help, then it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? And I think we get caught up in that as well, thinking that I'm in a better place than this person, so let me bring them along. I want to uplift them. I want to support them. But if they don't want the support, they don't want to be uplifted, they don't want the solution, then you're wasting your time. So you shouldn't have the guilt of moving on because the person doesn't really want to be where you at. So that's another thing that, you know, we need to be mindful of as well.
Right. And if you don't feel like you got a problem, you know what I'm saying? If you don't feel like you got a problem, you know what I mean?
You're going to storm out all the time.
You don't feel like you got a problem. Exactly. Like, yo, she's tripping. Why she talking that? And you walk with the problem. You have to realize, first of all, you have to understand that you have a problem. Like, whatever the issue is, you got to understand it. Once you understand it, then you can correct it, if you're willing to.
Yeah, but it has to be acknowledged. And I think that's another thing that people do too. Like, they don't acknowledge what the issues are. They kind of just, and they're not really humble about it. They just, you know, they need their time. They need their space. They need this, they need that. But, you know, like as you said, if you're really truly holding people accountable, then I may not be sitting here when you decide that you want to talk to me. And that's okay, because you walked away. And I'm not saying that, you know, when things are heated, that you don't need a moment or a second, or sometimes, like, even myself, like, sometimes I have to take a little bit to kind of gather my thoughts, right? But gather your thoughts, pick them up, and go and make shit right. You know what I mean? And have that conversation. And when you really truly care about the people around you, you make that effort. So walking out should never be an option.
Communicate.
And sometimes, even if you do gotta walk out, there's a better way to do it. You can let that person know, like, yo, I need a minute to collect my thoughts.
Yeah.
Right. I agree with that.
My thoughts. I'm really not in this space to hear you right now.
I'm
too caught in my emotions. So let me, like, go for a walk, let it resonate, and then I'll be back. Like, it does take, and when people talk about caring about another person's feelings, that's what I'm hearing when I hear that. Like, you literally take the other person into account, that you're not one person no more. If you join a friendship, it's a commitment. And people need to understand it's not a commitment for the day. It's not a commitment for the hour. It's a commitment for life.
Mm-hmm.
When you say, damn, I'm committed to you, this is my partner, it's not a commitment for the second. It's a commitment for life. So you truly have to look at these things and take them, and you take them as a valuable thing. Take love as a valuable thing.
Mm-hmm.
And really look at, are you ready to be solution driven? Are you ready to tackle the world's problems together? Because the more we have problems, doesn't change the problems that the world gives us. That quick, you paralyzed. That quick, you have cancer. That quick, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was going to say that earlier.
Into your relationship. And if you're not prepared for the minor things between y'all, the things from the outside that come in, are you going to truly be prepared? What if you stay with somebody so long and really wanted to leave them and then they got something happening? Now you look in the mirror and you're like, I can't leave now.
Or guilty.
But you don't have the discussions necessary. Like I always tell people, you know, like I know, like you talked about cigarettes. I think that's a bad habit, right? I'm one of them people, I used to argue all the time. We used to talk about weed versus alcohol when we was in college. We would do research. I mean, have extensive research. You know, that's the type of people I was around. And Darrell, no. We would research it, look it up, and we would actually have to have our point of view. So on the alcohol level, there was a lot more research. So whoever was against alcohol would be destroying with the research. I looked them in the eyes and I'm like, yo, let's just trump it. When I drink, I'm killing my body. When I smoke, you're killing everybody around you. It's the most selfish thing to do. They just sat back. Now, I understand how that feels because my mother used to do it to me all the time. So it's like, I don't have no rebuttal. So what I start doing, Ma, you always think you're right. You never hear me. You never understand. But they went through all this research and then they like, damn, this dude just hit us with a bomb. So I'm like, no matter how you cut it, you're killing everybody, slowly but surely. I'm drinking. I may hurt the people that love me, granted, if I become an alcoholic, things of that nature. I might do something stupid to harm somebody else. That can happen. But I'm guaranteeing what you're doing, it's definitely happening. So yours is a guarantee. So you're going on my percentage because I could have a good time. I can crack jokes. I can be the life of the party also, right? I can guarantee what you're doing is hurting everybody else.
Yeah.
So we have those discussions, but we work towards solutions. We constantly have these discussions, and I've been wrong in some and had to adapt their beliefs, and they've been wrong in some, had to adapt my beliefs. But when you're around people that actually challenge you and actually keep you afloat, and it feels overwhelming to a person who's not ready. But it feels like you are in the greatest space when it's people that are ready to actually work towards solution and really tackle problems as they come. Because let's be honest, we wake up with them every day.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I turn on, I even look at social media, there's a problem.
Yeah.
I don't even watch the news. Like, I'm an optimist. So I believe, yo, you watch the news, you walk out the house believing the world is worse than it is, right? So you're like, you know, you're really in a bad space. But Facebook became that. I get all my information from the news. I know if it's raining today by looking at Facebook. But at the same time, we need to be informed, so people are informing us. But at the same time, you got to ask yourself, are you ready? Are you just social media problematic, or are you really for solutions? Because people are going to comment under your posts. And if you don't like Andrassy, you've been there, right? We go back and forth, right? We could do it all day.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit back and give you your time to have your discussion, and I'm going to keep going back and going back. And sometimes I'm challenging you with things just to say, okay, think about this. You may be on track for wherever you're going, but think about this, right? Sometimes you challenging me, like, think about the other side of this. but we're gonna have the dialogue. There's some people like, yo, I just want my own view and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook is the wrong place to write that.
100%.
It's the wrong place to write that. So now you get blocked. Now that person gets blocked, and their next post is about how they're gonna block people who don't mind their business.
But can't even see the post because they're blocked.
Yeah, because they blocked. And you're like, you put it out there for people to have a discussion. So you really identify the people who are not solution driven. So you wind up seeing there's a bunch of people, like the toxic people I know on Facebook got the most people on their page.
Yeah.
That's one thing in researching I realized. I'm like, yo, this person does the most. 5,000.
Yo, I've seen people get a lot of attention on Facebook without being toxic.
Yeah, I'm not. See, again, when we're talking about percentages.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. The human absolute is percentage. If you have a cure. 80%. Yeah, I always mess it up. 80%. It's still you still gonna put it out there because it saves 80% of the population.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Name one thing that you can't look at and you're like 80% of the population won't benefit from this, and you keep it to yourself.
I got a bunch of stuff, but I feel like a lot of people ain't trying to hear me. We don't want to hear that stuff, Sharif. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I got plenty of information that could benefit 80% of the people.
Then why not put it out there?
So you should still put it out there.
So you just made my point.
Damn that, dog. Hey, if you got information, man, spit that. Damn that.
Yo,
I don't care how you feel.
You just made it.
Yeah, because I feel like most people in percentages is gonna be like, we don't want to hear that, Sharif. You know what I'm saying?
But then,
why was Sharif the worst person in Minister Society?
So what? I wish somebody would tell me that. So what?
Yeah, Sharif was the worst because he was the oddball out of all of the gangsters. You know what I mean?
This is what I'm saying. Why was he the oddball? Think about it. Why
he was solution driven and he?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like Jessica has 12,000 friends, and that's what she just wrote. She has 12,000 friends, and she doesn't think she's toxic. I'm like, not 12,000, excuse me, 1,200.
1,200.
You need to ask yourself, what's more toxic, my belief or my post? That's how you ask yourself that question on social media. What's more toxic, my post or your belief?
Makes sense.
Yeah,
that's real though.
But people don't want to really have the discussion with somebody who actually could articulate their point to some degree.
They don't. They're scared to.
They want to keep doing what they want to do. So they want things to be reconfirmed. So now we go back to what toxic is and think about that. Validation.
Mm-hmm.
That's what is the drug of social media. And we all use it. We use it because it reaches more people. Hopefully we can spread a message. Hopefully we can interact with family members that aren't nearby. Hopefully we could talk to friends that aren't nearby. But at the end of the day, every tool can be used for something positive. But when you look at what's happening, right? It's validation. It's reinforced by validation. So when you look around certain things, when you look at relationships, when you look at everything, you know the shows that are getting the highest ratings are what?
Validation.
The most toxic.
Yeah, the most dramatic.
That are dedicated to people's emotions. They prepare you for the first date. They prepare you for dating somebody. They don't prepare you for life with somebody. Let that sink in.
Mm-hmm.
What's more? Are we more group structured or are we more self-help structured? Think about that. Self-help is going to sell more than love is a group journey, because we're talking about having the ability to influence people around you, holding people around you accountable. It's not something that, though we may feel it's necessary, it's not something that's popular.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's like, yo, grow yourself, get to your highest point. You woke up today, be happy you woke up today, and actually go get money. Don't listen to your broke friends. People lie. You know that, right?
Yeah, right.
People aren't honest. You know that, right? Like, it's all the people that's constantly telling you that the world is not good for you and you just need to grow you. Anybody that grew up in a house with a group of people, understand the fighting and the back and forth you have to find an identity, granted. But when they walk out the house, they prepare for the work. Mm. Those are some of the best people in the room. So I want y'all to really think about that. Mm. And Jessica minds her business unless she has a productive contribution.
That's what she said?
Yeah, that's what she said on the side. Minds her business on Facebook unless she has a productive contribution. And Jazz was saying, like, a person that's being non-solution driven is synonymous with being the victim mentality.
Yeah, it goes hand in hand.
It does go hand in hand. It's draining. And they're in survival mode. But she added, they're in survival mode, which is true. You have to
for straws.
You want to live or you want to survive. And Drastic, he's like, yo, I don't want to be Sharif at this point. You know what I mean? But Sharif was getting my man up out of the hood. That's what Sharif was doing. He dropped enough knowledge, and eventually the dude was like, listen, I need to do what I got to do. So Sharif's problem was staying in the same place with the same people for too long.
Makes sense.
You know what I mean? But
yeah, I agree with that.
For him, but he didn't benefit from them, so it's an equal relationship. But be Sharif, you know what I mean? Go on Facebook, spread positivity, and whoever it sticks to, it sticks to. Whoever it doesn't, people might unfriend you, might block you, might decide.
I ain't even worried about all of that. I don't know. I avoid Facebook for my own personal mental health these days. You know what I mean? I go down the timeline. I'm like, negativity, toxicity, another negative post, another negative, another toxicity. All right, this one's positive. You know what I mean? It's just the law of the averages. So I'm just like, let me just stay in my own zone. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'll log in for a few minutes here and there, wish somebody a happy birthday or something, and then keep it moving.
Yeah, but that's what we talk about, Mr. Loner. That's the privilege of being a loner.
Yeah.
Because leadership can't afford that. I can't afford to say, yo, listen, I want greater relationships and then stay idle.
Or I give you a better.
The same way you feel, trust me, Drastic.
But Aziz,
they had to talk me into social media. I couldn't stand it. But then at the end of the day, I had to look in the mirror and say, listen, I'm a part of the problem if I keep my mouth shut.
I feel the same way. There's no way I can do what I do and be silent. It's impossible.
But it's like if we said, hey, if we don't get 15 people on Mondays, then we're just not going to go on. You know what I mean? Like, imagine if we did that. If we thought that success was the amount of people that actually logged on to our webinars. You know what I mean? Like, we're touching everyone's life that's on here, right? It's not, we don't have 50 people, but it's still successful, and we're still doing it. Every Monday we show up. Every Monday we're here having these conversations. So if we all thought like that, then people wouldn't be putting out good content. People wouldn't be educating. People wouldn't be putting the positivity out there if they were looking for the numbers or looking at the negative, like not everyone's gonna take in the message. Not everyone's gonna attend. You know how many people register and then half those people show up, but we're here every day. We're here every Monday, regardless, because we have something to say, we have something to share with the world, and we believe in it. So regardless of who's gonna come, eventually people will come.
And I'm just here for the conversations. I'm not even here for the numbers. You know what I'm saying? I don't like, you know what I mean? Like I feel like we all just hanging out in the living room somewhere having a conversation. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it.
But at the same time, I've grown. So I take this as growth. And to Jared's point, I don't just stop having conversations here. Like I have conversations with people close to me about what I talked about here. Like once we're done, I'm going to talk to someone probably for an hour and a half about what we talked about today. She takes notes, I take notes, we really dialogue about this. So you guys' word is spreading because I'm spreading it myself. I love what you guys do.
Thanks.
Thank you, Darrell. We appreciate it.
Definitely appreciate it. But I just want to leave everybody with a message like maintain and keep being solution driven. Like keep searching for your solutions. Like what Drastic was saying, it can go hand in hand, but what we're saying is be validated by finding solutions. Be validated by finding common ground. Be validated by actually merging with people that actually are lifting you to the next level. Don't just run from it. Like face it head on and understand like anybody that's willing to stand in front of you and stand with you, those are the people that's going to go through life with you. You know what I mean? Those are the people who aren't going to let you down. Those are the people who are going to be accountable in your life. So I just want y'all to really think about the importance of, love is a group journey and maintaining these discussions and carrying these discussions to the people that you care about. And Drastic, we want to get you more friends.
Yeah, basically.
I'm not actively seeking any right now. Yeah, I'm not actively seeking any right now. You know what I'm saying? I know lots and lots of people. Huh?
Yeah, it's not about seeking. It's about having like minds so you can flourish because you got so much to offer people, man.
Yeah.
You have so much to offer people. And we want people to benefit, but we also want you to benefit from having people around you that actually are chasing the bag with you. You know what I mean? So your bags are full.
With the Bible.
I want you to understand that even when it comes to chasing the bag, the group chasing is better than the single chasing. So regardless of what you do, love is a group journey. It allows you to flourish. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
We at the end. Whoever didn't share, share.
Yeah, take the moment.
Take the moment and share. But at the end of the day, we'll be here next Monday, 9 o'clock. And everybody look out for this new website.
Oh, yeah. So we're having a new website built. So our old website is down for a second. Well, not a second, maybe a couple of days. But our new website is really nice and we're really excited about it. So when it's up and running, we'll send you guys a link so you can check it out. We have blogs, we have podcasts, we have services. We have a chat feature. You can text a number and you can chat with the LoveSnobs. So it's really cool.
Definitely.
Quick question. Yo, what's up with the book? Is it published?
The book, we still working on it.
No, it's still being worked on.
We're still working on it.
You wrote a book?
Yeah, we have,
like a manual.
That's what's up. Hey, like I said before, man, I appreciate what y'all do. That's why I'm here every Monday. If y'all got time, Drastic, Jerry, Dad, and Face, if y'all got time, 6 o'clock tomorrow for me, if y'all got time.